The 10 best countries to visit in Antarctica. Antarctica is the northernmost part of the world, and a trip there is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see frozen landscapes that can't be seen anywhere else. A lot of different kinds of polar wildlife live in the snowy wilderness that is still untouched. The beautiful landscape is nothing less than awe-inspiring to look at. Tourists could go to many beautiful places that will make them happy and make them feel at peace. Welcome back to our channel, Travel Tales. In today's video, we will share with you the top 10 best places to visit in Antarctica. So without any delay, let's dive in. South Shetland Islands. The South Shetland Islands are one of Antarctica's most popular tourist destinations. On the tip of the Antarctic Peninsula, these groups of islands include the unique Deception Island and a volcano that is still active. The islands have beautiful views of ice sheets, icebergs and glaciers, and there are thousands of penguins living there. On the South Shetland Islands, you can visit research stations and an old whaling stations near the black sand beaches in the interior. King George Island is one of the most populated places in Antarctica. It is the biggest of the South Shetland Islands because it is so close to South America. More than 8 countries, including Argentina, Brazil, Russia and South Korea, have bases there all year round. The Antarctic Peninsula. One of the most productive parts of the Southern Ocean is the area made up of the Antarctic Peninsula, the Scotia Arc, the South Georgia Islands and the South Sandwich Islands. The Antarctic Peninsula is the northernmost part of the Antarctic continent. It is 1,500 kilometers long and ends at the tip of South America. The Antarctic Circumpolar Current is a strong natural barrier. Because of this, these waters are home to a lot of different plants and animals that can only be found there. About 75% of the krill population around Antarctica lives in this area. This makes it a good place for penguins, seals and whales to breed. Drake Passage. From the end of South America to the northernmost part of Antarctica, this is where the roughest sea passage in the world is said to be. The Drake Passage is the stuff of legends, and some people on Antarctic cruises look forward to crossing it more than anything else. On an ice-strengthened Antarctic expedition ship, it's exciting to feel the waves roll over the ship. The Drake Passage is just under 1,000 kilometers long. It is where the Antarctic, Pacific and the Southern Seas meet, making it a roaring mix of currents that can make you regret that extra serving of pasta you had for dinner. When high winds are common in the area, crossing the Drake Passage can be quite an exciting adventure. Most of the swaying is now taken care of by stabilizers on exhibition ships, so most people on Antarctica cruise ships can get by with just a seasickness pill and a few crackers. South Georgia. South Georgia is a long, thin island in the South Atlantic Ocean that is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Antarctica. South Georgia is known for its green grasslands, meadows, beautiful glaciers and grand fjords. It is surrounded by high mountains. This place also has a lot of different kinds of animals, from penguins and seals to whales and more. You can also look at the old whaling stations that are still there. South Georgia is home to the Salveson and the Aladis, 2 mountain ranges with peaks that are almost 3,000 meters above the sea. In the summer, snow, ice and glaciers cover almost 75% of the island. During the winter, there is snow all the way down to the water's edge. The Falkland Islands. The Falkland Islands in Antarctica are known all over the world for their rich variety of plants and animals. This makes them one of the most visited places on the continent. The islands have a British feel and look because they were inspired by British architecture and design, which is very clear here. Many different kinds of birds and sea animals like albatrosses, penguins, etc. use the island as a place to live and raise their young. You can also go to a number of museums and historical sites. The cool South Atlantic Ocean has a big effect on the weather of the Falkland Islands. This gives the island a narrow range of temperatures throughout the year. The weather is similar to the UK, but there are more sunny days and less rain. The average summer temperature is also lower. Summer lasts from October to March. On average, there are 6.6 hours of sunshine each day, and the highest temperature is 13.6 centigrade. La Mer Channel. The Le Maire Channel is a narrow body of water that runs for about 7 miles between the mainland's Kiev Peninsula and Booth Island, a large rocky outcrop. In 1870, a German expedition was the first to see the Le Maire Channel. However, it wasn't crossed by anyone for another 28 years. In 1898, Adrien de Gerlache led a Belgian expedition that was the first to sail through the gap. Adrien de Gerlache found it strange, though, that he didn't name the channel after himself. Instead, he named it after another Belgian explorer, Charles Le Maire, 1863 to 1925. Charles Le Maire had nothing to do with Antarctica. Instead, he was best known for going on trips to the Congo. Because of where the channel is, the water is usually calm, and the cliffs and glaciers that rise out of the water on either side of the channel can be seen perfectly reflected in the water. Port Lockroy. Port Lockroy is in a bay on the northwestern side of the Wink Island, near the Antarctic Peninsula. It is the most popular place to land in Antarctica, and for good reason. It has a famous post office and a fascinating history. Port Lockroy was a British base that was built in 1944. It was named for Etienne Auguste Edouard Lockroy, a politician who paid for the expedition that found the site in 1904. In 1944, the British set up a base in Port Lockroy, which stayed open until 1962. The Bransfield House, which is the main building, was built in 1944. The base was fixed up and turned into a museum in 1996. The building is open to the public, and you can look at displays that tell you about the science that was done there in the 1950s. It might be best known as the place where the Penguin Post Office is, where people can actually send letters and buy postcards to put in the red mailbox at Bransfield House. Even though it may take weeks or months for them to get there, it's a special moment for both the people who send them and the people who receive them. Ross Sea. This deep bay in Antarctica's southern ocean is known for having the biggest ice shelf on the continent. People also think that the Ross Sea, which is several hundred meters deep, is one of the most beautiful natural places on Earth. The sea is also home to Ross Island, where an active volcano called Mount Erebus lives. Ross Sea has everything: big groups of penguins, beautiful glaciers, historical sites, icebergs, and a lot of natural beauty. Over the course of more than 12 years, the artist John Weller from Boulder, Colorado, along with a group of scientists, policymakers, and regular people from all over the world, worked hard to make the Ross Sea a protected area in order to save species and keep an important place for climate research. In 2016, their hard work paid off, and the area is now the largest marine protected area in the world. King George Island. King George Island is also one of Antarctica's most popular tourist destinations. King George Island is the biggest of the South Shetland Islands. It is often the first stop on an expedition to Antarctica and is home to many scientific research stations. The island, which was named after the British King George III, has people from many different countries such as Argentina, Russia, South Korea, Chile, Germany, and others. As of now, flights to Antarctica take off and land on the island. You can also see seals, penguins, and other marine animals here, as well as a lot of different kinds of wildlife. King George Island is important to many Antarctic bases because it has an airstrip that is 1,300 meters long and is always kept up by the Chilean base president, Eduardo Frei Montalva. This makes it possible for people and supplies to get to and from many other Antarctic bases and research stations by air. IceCube Research Station. Visit the IceCube Research Station when you're in Antarctica to see the world's biggest neutrino telescope. At the station at the South Pole, you can learn about the secrets of the universe and see a lot of sensitive monitoring equipment and particles in the ice. Talk to the scientists here who are studying the behavior and workings of neutrinos, which are known as the most mysterious building blocks in the whole universe. Well, that's it for today, guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get the latest update about the fresh and interesting content we keep on posting. See you in the